gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
They went to try and save his life. Obviously, you're not going to save a guy who just got shot 60 times.
One officer on a body cam footage can be heard saying he still has a pulse. As the officers were getting ready to put him into a police car.
And this is what I don't understand. We have people in the community listening to hip hop music. And one thing that stood out from Biggie, who, you know, one of the greatest rappers ever lived, he said, one false move and get Swiss cheesed up. Well, that's exactly what happened to Jalen Walker. He made one false, I mean, not even one false move, but a multitude of different, an amalgamation of different false moves that ended up getting him, in fact, Swiss cheesed up.
To get him as quickly as possible to the hospital, Akron fire medics arrived on scene. They took over aid, and unfortunately, Mr. Walker tragically passed at the scene. Okay, Lieutenant, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll start with Q&A.
All right, guys, so they are going to do a Q&A. We are going to get through this, but I do have the link in the chat if you want to join the stream. If you disagree that this shooting was unjustified, let me know. Ultimately, unfortunately, I think that it was justified because Jalen Walker had shot outside of the vehicle. Also, the way that he bailed from the car with the Pooh Shiesty mask on, it kind of shows that he was doing the wrong thing, obviously at the wrong time.
We're going to start by allowing each media outlet present to ask at least one question. We ask that you speak loudly so that your voice can not only be heard in this room, but also as part of the live stream that we're providing for the community. Understand again, and it's already been stated by the chief, that there are some questions that they cannot answer or may not answer because of the independent nature of the investigation. Also, to preserve the integrity of the investigation, some questions may not be answered for that reason. So at this time, I'll open up for questions. I am going to move intentionally to my left to right. We're going to ask one question each, and then we're going to move to the room from left to right. Okay? We'll open it up at this time. Anybody? Sir?
Thank you, Lieutenant. Question for the police chief. At this point in time, Paul Sandoval at C9, based on what you've seen, chief, and understanding the investigation is less than a week old, after seeing this very upsetting video, what is it to you, for you, what is the most concerning thing in the footage that you've seen so far?
It's the same thing that's most concerning to everybody else that just watched it. I'm going to say this.
Okay, so he asked him what was the most concerning thing. See, the most concerning thing to me is that we have young black men who think that they can evade police by taking them on a high-speed chase, okay, shoot a gun out the window, hop out the vehicle, and act like everything is just honky-dory, everything's sweet, and nothing's going to happen to you. We have a whole bunch of people in the community, for one, who just aren't thinking straight, if they're thinking at all, and just are trying to portray this hood, like, gangster persona, even when they're doing something like being a DoorDash guy, allegedly. And I mean, he might have been logged into the DoorDash app, or he might have been doing DoorDash, but at the end of the day, I don't think he was doing DoorDash at this moment. I really don't. So we got somebody on the stream, David Echelon. What do you have to say, David? What do you think about this shooting of the brother Jalen Walker?
I think he was innocent, to be honest.
You think he was innocent? Okay.
Nah,
So
I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit. Nah, I don't think he's innocent.
Okay. So what do
Nah,
you think?
I think that nigga was just doing street shit and just fucked up. He didn't really know what he was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
To be honest, like even when me personally, if you ever try to flee from the cops, like I want to stop while I'm fleeing from the cops. I'll just keep going. Like I
Right.
don't know why he stopped. Like you stop and think nothing's gonna happen. Like they're most likely gonna shoot you, bro. Like I don't know what he was thinking about from that, but yeah, I think I don't think no. I think the cops did the right thing. They didn't really do anything wrong. They shoot him 60 times. He was looking like a threat. Like what do you expect them
Yeah,
to
I
look at you
mean,
as?
right. I mean, you got the poo shiesty mask on, you shoot outside of your vehicle, take the cops on a high-speed chase, and then you think shit's gonna be sweet when they pull up on your ass. Nah, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, especially after you shoot. Especially after you shoot after the cops. Like I've never heard of like this is the first time I've seen black people protest after in the case it's shown that the guy he shot at the cops. Like that's like I don't know if you remember when Chief Keef tried to shoot at the cops, right?
Yes, I do remember that.
You remember that, right? Did people
Yes.
go protest for that nigga?
No, they didn't. But he also didn't get killed, so
He didn't get killed, right? So nobody protests for that. But so when somebody a black man gets killed from doing wrong, that's when you guys want to protest. I feel like black people are starting to spit in our faces with that type of shit, man. It's kind of annoying, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. I think we're starting to look like the community that cried wolf, and it's not a good look. We do have Kareem in the stream, so if you want to put in a point, Kareem, what do you think about this tragic shooting of Jalen Walker?
I think he was in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And also, good evening, by the way. I
Good evening. Good
appreciate you
evening.
having me on your show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love your channel, man. I think he was wrong, and I think it's ridiculous that prior to this video I'm seeing now that you showed, the narrative was he was just this unarmed man
Right.
that was gunned down. And then they didn't even mention the traffic stop. They tried to say initially that he was gunned down at a peaceful protest.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, what story? What's the right story, man? All these fake, leftist media outlets, and it's just insane, man. Like I was saying, the only way I could see something happening like this, and he was in the right, like they were saying, like just him being just targeted and being unarmed, it would have to be something outrageous, like somebody put a hit out on him and they paid the cops to do it, or him having a weapon. I can't think of any other reason, like, and him having a weapon is not even the extreme example. The hitman example is the extreme one. So
Yeah.
it's just insane, man.
Yeah, I think you'll have to do a lot of mental gymnastics to justify his actions. We got Johnny Reb in the building. What do you think about this shooting?
I only just learned about it, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't catch the start of your stream. But
Okay.
you saw the news about Ak?
No, I didn't see the news. What happened?
He got suspended for a week, so he's going to be going live on Rumble tonight, 10:30.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll definitely look to tune into that. We got Cal TCB in the building. Cal, what do you think about this shooting? Do you think it was a justified shoot, or you think that the officers should have used some more discretion?
Well, from what I heard, can you hear me all right? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, from what I heard, having a gun, wearing a mask, jumping out your car, not even stopping it, not pulling over. I mean, the dude was basically asking for it. I know that might sound mean, but it's the facts.
Yeah.
I'm in UK, so guns are pretty much unheard of unless you're doing a terrorist attack, pretty much. But if you're in a country full of guns, you got a gun on you, you got a mask, you're speeding, you're not pulling over, you jump out your car in neutral. Of course, they're going to assume a gun's there. I don't know if they should have took 60 shots, but I mean, the fact you got shot dead isn't really too shocking. You got to comply, and you can't play games with your life because you're winning stupid prizes, just like you said.
Yep.
So I don't feel sorry for him. I mean, 60 shots, is that necessary or not? I don't know, but the outcome, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Let me just explain like the rationale, but for the 60 shots, apparently there were 90 shots fired between 8 officers, 60 hit. They can't actually confirm the 60 hit, but there are 60 wounds. So they're still trying to determine entry wounds and exit wounds. But when you shoot at somebody and you think that they have a weapon, say the first cop shot the gun. Now all the other cops have to shoot too, because they don't know where the gunfire came from. The gunfire could have come from Jayland. So now they have to double down and shoot. Now all of them have to shoot. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like the Breonna Taylor situation where Kenneth Walker shot at the police and then they all returned fire. In 60 shots, I mean, y'all saw how quickly those 90 shots got off. You know, it happened within you know, a couple of seconds. So it's very easy to let off 60 between 8 people.
Yeah, but the misinformation around Breonna Taylor, sorry, forgive me. I'll say this quickly, I'll let other people talk. But in the UK, the narrative is Breonna Taylor was asleep with her boyfriend and they just started shooting through the building. Oh my God, she was so innocent. But I mean, the boyfriend, he's on the, not the webcam, on the body cam footage saying Breonna shot, not he shot. But then you listen to police. But the narrative here is the police shot through the building, killed innocent people. If you say anything else, you're racist. That's pretty much, that's it, underlined.
Correct.
Did you see Ox coverage of Breonna Taylor? He did like a 12 or 14 part series.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whose?
Ock Nation? Ock Nation News?
No, I've not heard of this person. How do you spell that? Ock Nation? Because I'll drop him a sub.
Yeah, it's AK space NATION. That's my YouTube uncle.
Oh yeah, all right. Well,
I remember reading through the case, and like I know the boyfriend was using her address, a bunch of shit like that, using her address. So the cops went into her apartment thinking that it was the boyfriend was still there, the ex-boyfriend at least.
Right. The Glover brother.
Yeah. So
yeah. So let's get back through some of this police conference. Just in the meantime, mute up unless you're going to interject and say something.
Of course.
When an officer makes the most critical decision in his or her life as a police officer, doesn't matter where in the country this happens, when they make that most critical decision to point their firearm at another human being and pull the trigger, they've got to be ready to explain why they did what they did. They need to be able to articulate what specific threats they were facing. And that goes for every round that goes down the barrel of their gun. And they need to be held to account. Right now, as you pointed out, we're in the early stages of the investigation. The officers have not been able to provide a statement yet. I am reserving any sort of judgment until we hear from them. Just last night, I spoke with the union president, and he told me that the officers are fully cooperating with the investigation.
Chief, I have a question.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Chief, the attorney for the family, Bobby DiCello, says that he spoke with you and you told him and you told members of the legal team and members of the family that based on your viewing of the video that you had not seen evidence that Jalen Walker did anything threatening that precipitated the gunfire. Your response to that?
So I've watched this video more times than I cared to, but I've watched it at least 40 times. When you see it in real time, it's very hard to distinguish what Mr. Walker is doing. In the still photos, there's a picture that appears to all of us that Mr. Walker is going down to his waist area. There is a photograph that appears Mr. Walker was turning towards the officer, and there is a picture that captures a forward motion of his arm.
Shout out to Johnny Gill with the $4.99 super trap. He said 4 people murdered yesterday alone here in Philly, not including the others today. No outrage. Energy will go to the cops.
Oh, say less.
at the crime scene, after the officers were involved in the shooting, they immediately get sequestered from one another, and they are monitored. When the investigative team arrives, they do an individual walkthrough of the crime scene. Each officer, independent of each other, related that they felt that Mr. Walker had turned and was motioning and moving into a firing position. So again, BCI is going to do the investigation. I'm not prejudging it. And I'll leave it there.
Please.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to understand a little better the gunshot from the car. Was there a bullet wound that exhibited from the inside of a bullet hole?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The other part is, was the gun found with the magazine removed in the car?
Yes, the way in which that picture depicted where the gun was located and the way and the manner in which it was placed. Officers are approaching the car on their body-worn camera, and it's capturing it in as they are approaching. After the shot was fired, after the shooting occurred, we went back to the scene where we believe the shot was fired. A casing was discovered at that location.
So he actually did shoot out of the vehicle at the officers. I know that was something that people on social media were saying, oh, they're lying that he shot outside of the car. Maybe it was his headlight that flashed. You don't know. So now we have the reality. Shout out to TJ, the conservative. We got him in the building. What do you say about this shooting of Jalen Walker? Do you think it was justified, or you think the cops went OD?
What's up with you, man? You hear echo?
What's good? Nah, I don't hear an echo.
Man, it's pretty much the same thing, man. Like I tell everybody, man. Like I was just telling my son, for men, especially black men, son men, as we say, you just got to follow the 3 F's, man, when dealing with police. I have one small little solution that we can try. Don't fuss, don't fight, and you don't flee.
Yes.
Why? Because you're going to lose. That's why. And you want to make it home to the people who love you safe. We'll handle all the other business later. So now we have to do all the crying and explaining, well, how many times he got shot or why he got shot, when we're not looking at the root of the problem. If you're a grown man and you're handling your business the right way and you're working, you're driving that Uber, why are you getting out running? Why are you getting out fussing? Why are you getting out fighting? This can we disrespect the laws of cause and effect sometimes, man. We make this whole big fuss of a lot of things that we can be solved easily. Just you have to understand what you put out there come back, and some things what you put out there could cost you your life. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Why don't you think after all this time, why do you think that black men are still making the same mistake over and over again?
And I'm going to tell you, man, from a son man that been in that position, something is going on that you don't want to. We hate taking an L, man.
Yeah.
We hate taking an L. I don't care if it's big. I don't care if it's small. We hate taking an L. And so it could be something simple as a nickel bag in the damn glove compartment. It could be something just as small as, a damn ticket you didn't pay for parking. We're all crazy. The lights come on. I can't take an L. But I'm not understanding that this moment right now, when I run and flee, I could put my life in this situation. And that situation can cost me my life.
Facts. All right.
But man, keep grinding though, man. Doing your thing, man. I'm tuned in, man. I got you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you joining the stream.
All right.
I would say it's the lack of the critical thinking and being able to think forward of what's going to happen going forward.
Right, exactly. And guys, shout out to Johnny Reb. He said, "Hey guys, Ock Nation News has been suspended for a week. Catch him tonight, 10:30 on Rumble." I just subscribed to his Rumble account. So guys, I advise you to go subscribe as well if you want to catch those lives that he be doing. Y'all already know it's always a great conversation on that channel. So let's keep going into the video and break it down.
Consistent with the firearm that Mr. Walker had in his vehicle. BCI will determine whether or not that casing came from the gun or not. And again, independent of anything we did, the ODOT camera captures what we believe to be a muzzle flash coming out of the car. Again, BCI will be determining whether or not that in fact is the case. Right.
Chief, as far as the chase goes, and wondering if this could have been avoided at all, could you talk at all about the protocol of the chase and the point of the gunshot being fired? Does that cancel any opportunity to call this chase off because of the gunshot?
Thank you for that question. It's a great question. So the initial attempt to stop Mr. Walker, as you heard on the audio, was for an equipment violation and for a traffic violation. I'm not exactly sure what the equipment violation was or what the traffic violation was. We will find that out, or BCI will discover that during their investigation. What was going to be a routine traffic stop, which would probably result either in a warning or a citation being issued, turned into a pursuit.
Wow. I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17. So you heard what he said. Routine traffic stop turned into a pursuit. Meaning that if this dude would have just pulled over, it would have been routine. He would have got a ticket. He would have kept it moving. I mean, even if you do have something that you ain't supposed to have in that car, most likely you're not going to get searched. These officers, a lot of times, they don't want to go through all that bullshit. They don't want to go through all the paperwork. They want to say, hey, you made a traffic infraction here. If you're being respectful, if you ain't acting the fool, then most likely they will let your ass go. This is the problem with us. Like TJ the Conservative said, niggas don't want to take that L. But what's a bigger L? You know, losing a couple hours, going through paperwork, having to pay a ticket, or losing your life. All right. What do you guys think?
Well, the thing they don't tell you about a ticket is if you go and contest it and you show up at the courthouse on time, you know, you have about a 50-50 chance the cop's not going to show up and gets dismissed.
Yep.
You don't even have to pay it necessarily.
That's true. That is very true.
But can we be honest here? I got a belief, man. It ain't even a belief. I believe this is a fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that run are the people that have done something or they're planning to do something illegal.
Right.
So I'll give you an example, right? My sister, when she lived in the building, I'm from the South Bronx, right? So she lived in a NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority apartment, right? So
Yes.
what I used to do is I used to lock her door, and since she lived on the first floor, I would walk out the back staircase and I would put the key through the window. So one day the cops saw me putting the key in the window and they asked me, you know, what I was doing. And I said, oh, hey, how you doing, officers? I said, this is my sister. She's disabled. So I walk in, you know, I lock her door and I put the keys through the window. They said, okay, can you just call her? So I yelled through the window, Ashley. She said, huh? You know what happened right after that? The cop said, okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Mm. Mm.
Nothing out after that. She didn't have to come. They wanted her to come to the window, but once they heard her say, huh, they said, all right, sir, thank you, because, there's been some burglaries in the area. And, we
Facts.
just wanted to make sure everything was good. I said, okay, thank you. And I went about my day. I didn't have I wasn't robbing the apartment. A person robbing the apartment would run.
Exactly. That was a great point.
I'll be honest too, because that's another thing. He gave the cop confirmation. Like I was I'll be honest. I do a lot of sunman shit. I was a person who was doing a lot of sunman shit. You know what I mean? Back in the day. So even when I was doing my shit, I was selling shit. And when a cop would approach me, because I remember a time I almost got robbed, and a couple of gliders see me getting robbed, and well, he's trying to get robbed, and they called the police, right?
Right.
So police came, and there's no snitching policy. So police came, and they seen me walking away because I was selling shit, right? But I hid it from the guys who was trying to rob me. So police came and they tried to come arrest me, and the person who I was trying to sell it to. Now, I did not flee or try to go about it like, all right, these guys, I ain't doing nothing, so I'm gonna run away, because that's just stupid to me personally. That's just dumb. I just throw the shit away, right? I just throw the shit away and talk to the officer. Even though the officer still tried to, just see what's going on, he still put handcuffs on me because I'm from Toronto. Like in Toronto, the cops would still do that. Just what would they call it? Just almost like they have you on. They're just asking you questions, but they'll still arrest you. They're not saying you're under arrest, but they'll still put you in handcuffs. I forgot the term for it, but they'll detain you. Yeah, they'll detain you. Exactly, they'll detain you. So he'll detain me, but at the end of the day, he's gonna talk to you. If he sees he has nothing on you, they're gonna let you go. Right? They're gonna let you go. They're not gonna do nothing to you. Now after that, obviously I'm not doing that type of shit anymore, but I don't think cops are really out here trying to say they're only trying to get black people. They're not. No. They're not doing that shit, man. They're not doing that shit.
Yeah, the problem is we fucking up. We just fucking up, man. You're just making bad decisions, and this is the type of shit that it leads to.
Hey, can I just say something real quickly?
Go ahead.
Here in New York City, right? Over 90% of the violent crime is committed by blacks and Hispanics, right? When we look nationwide, black people are 10 to 13% of the population. Yet we commit over half the homicides and 48% of the violent crime.
Right.
So how can we get mad? Yes. So now if people that look like you and I are committing these crimes, right? Some people will slip through the cracks. Some people will be stopped innocently. So it's like, how do you really even police that? Like with stop and frisk. How do you really police that? And there's gonna be a risk that you stop the wrong people sometimes.
Right.
But hey, people, this is the world we live in. People that look like you and I tend to be violent based off the data.
Right. Yeah, and that's a big internal issue. I think that people are trying to overlook it and not address it, and just, we haven't done anything wrong. They just out to get us. And it's like, no, bro, you got a dude who is shooting at the cops, taking on a high-speed chase, hops out of a rolling vehicle and thinks shit's sweet when he turning around, making a gesture like he pulling something out of his britches. He might have just been pulling his pants up. This is another reason why y'all niggas need to stop sagging your damn pants, because when you're trying to pull your pants up, it look like you're reaching for something in your damn waistband.
As Mr. Walker turned onto the entrance ramp to Route 8 and the shot is fired, that changes the nature of the contact. 40 seconds after the initiation of the traffic stop, a half a mile from the location of the traffic stop, You hear the gunshot, and then everything else that I've just discovered. And again, that changes the whole nature of the traffic stop. It went from being a routine traffic stop to now a public safety issue.
Yep.
And then the pursuit continued. Yes.
Chief, have the officers involved viewed any of the video before they made their statements?
They have not given statements yet, to my knowledge. And again, that part of my answer is us walling ourselves off from the investigation, and that will be determined by the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Sir.
Chief, the initial officers on that approach to the car deployed tasers. Can we read into that? Does that mean they didn't see it as a lethal threat? What were they seeing that they chose to grab a taser versus their firearm?
I don't know. I'm not going to respond to that because it would be speculation. The officers will be given an opportunity to explain their actions.
And I think the reason why they grabbed the taser first is because they was trying to give the little nigga a chance, bro. They really were. He got tased. It didn't work. So they put the taser up, point blank. The taser was extending grace. That's what that was. That's all it was.
Sir.
Yes, Chief, in sort of 2012 in Cleveland, they had a sort of famous incident where 137 shots were fired into a car of unarmed people after a chase, and it received a lot of publicity. I'm curious if that incident, 137 shots into unarmed people which killed them in that incident, if that changed policies at all, either in the Akron department or other departments around the country.
So when that shooting occurred, I wasn't here in Akron.
Right.
I just got here last August. And, you know, I'm trying to go back in memory. I can't recall exactly what we did as a profession following that, but I can tell you that we train in this police department. We go above and beyond in the police academy, the minimum required hours of training when it comes to firearms. Additionally, we go above and beyond the minimum requirement by the state for annual qualifications. And so I really can't answer fully that question. Yeah.
This question kind of dovetails with that. Is there any kind of rubric or protocol when multiple officers are firing, or how many rounds you fire when there's a single subject?
So officers are trained to, when they perceive a threat to themselves or to somebody else, that they are authorized to use their firearm to stop the threat. And they are authorized to use their firearm until that threat no longer exists or it stops. And that is the standard.
Young man in the back.
Chief, you mentioned several body cam videos, but is there also dash cam footage? And does any video cover the moment of actually attempting to pull them over?
So we don't have dash cameras in our fleet. No, sir.
And does
What was
any
your
video
second question?
Does any video record the actual moment where they attempted to pull them over for the alleged traffic infraction?
So again, everything that you saw right now is from body camera footage. We don't have dash cameras in it, and I'm not going to step into that part of the investigation. I will look to BCI to collect all that evidence. Sure.
You said you had.
Hang on 1 second. Go ahead, sir.
Chief, have you ever had a case where over someone under the wedding room behind? I'm not asking you to speculate on this case, but have you ever had that happen before? And if so, why? And secondly, just your gut feeling when you saw this video, if it was as many as 90 shots as has been reported, and I know you can confirm that, did that strike you as excessive?
I will say this, that it was difficult to watch and shocking, just like it is for everybody. I'm not passing judgment on the decisions my officers made. They will be given the opportunity to explain why they did what they did, as they should.
All right, guys. So I think we pretty much covered every angle of this. It's a very sticky situation. Unfortunately, I think that this brother Jayland here, he was dead wrong. He was doing way too much, and it ended up costing him his life. The Pooh Shiesty mask is pretty much a dead giveaway that he was a super gremlin on Demon Time. And it just, oh man, it's just wild how you have the people in the community out here acting a damn fool, trying to defend the actions of this dude. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream right here. I do want to remind you guys, before we get out of here, that I have another channel. I have another channel called BGZM News 17, where we cover stories like this, stories like these, and there is no commentary. So it's straight news cuts, news edits, and news stories. Here's the channel right here, guys. If you support Black Gen Z, then you will support BGZM News 17. We also have the BGZM News 17 Instagram and the Black Gen Z Mindset Instagram as well. So you can go and show your support there. Also, we have the merch. We've got the merch, guys. So we do have the merch in. It is the last link in the description box below. So make sure you go ahead and get your merch there from the merch store. We have had a few people go ahead and buy those BGZM News 17 t-shirts, and I really appreciate everybody for doing that. So make sure you sub to the BGZM News 17 channel. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subs. Once we get it to 1,000 subs, we will be rocking and rolling. I also go live on this channel, as you can see. So that's where you can keep up with more stories that I can't cover, because I can't cover everything, but I try and get to everything that I can. But you know, it's impossible to cover it all. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody who joined the stream today. Just want to give it up to my guests. Any last words before we get up out of here? And we'll start with David, then we'll go Kareem, then we'll go TJ the Conservative. So what are your thoughts, guys? Final thoughts, David? Going once? Going twice? And David, just I guess he hopped off the stream. Kareem, any final thoughts?
Yeah, first and foremost, again, thanks for having me on the show, man. Great content as
Yes,
always.
sir.
You know, just like the brother said earlier about Philly, man, same thing. It's the same thing in these liberal inner cities, man. Here in the Bronx, you had someone shot right in front of the precinct, broad daylight. An hour later, someone else killed over, you know. So I know it's probably going to be like 50, 60 something shootings by the end of the weekend, you know. And like, if you have nothing to hide, don't run, man. But like I said, people that usually have something to hide, or they're engaged in criminal activity, or they're leaving a crime scene, those are the people that usually run or, you know, let off rounds. And come on, man, there's more of them than you. You'll lose every time, you
Yes.
know. But
Yes.
thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem. Appreciate you joining the stream there, brother. TJ the Conservative, last thoughts?
Yeah, my bad.
Good.
Man, but just keep up the good work, man. Appreciate having me on, you know. But just want to tell everybody, before you step out of your house, before you make any move, especially a son, man, you ask yourself, is what I'm about to do productive or non-productive? And if it's a non-productive move, you then ask yourself, can I handle the cause of this effect that may occur?
Yes.
If you can live with those things, we don't have a problem. Just remember that.
Yeah, guys, if you're doing dirt out here, man, hey, stand 10 toes on that shit. It looked like Jayland was standing 10 toes, honestly. It looked like he stood 10 toes, and this is the outcome that he asked for. Unfortunately, his family may not agree, but in my opinion, his actions led to the outcomes that he got. And, you know, by him shooting out of the car vehicle and taking the police on a high-speed chase, ditching the car in a rolling fashion with a Pooh Shiesty mask on, to me, the evidence stacks up to he knew what the fuck time he was on, and he was the super gremlin on demon time. So I appreciate you, TJ, the conservative, for giving your output. We'd love to have you anytime I go live.
I got you, man.
Yes, sir,
Be
brother.
easy.
Stay safe. All right, guys. So that is it for the stream. Like I said, guys, make sure you go and check out the BGZM News 17 news channel. I hope to see you guys there. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subs. Right now, we got 188 subs. So make sure you go check that one out. This one was a doozy. The community is punching the air and protesting in Akron as we speak. We had our honorary athlete activist speak on it in LeBron James, and he had something to say about it. But he, I think he spoke prematurely, didn't have the facts, doesn't really understand what's going on, and can't really empathize with the actions or the shenanigans of a lot of these super gremlins out here in the community. I wish that these guys would come and watch my channel, but YouTube probably has an algorithm going a whole nother way that will never reach the eyes of the people who really need to see this. Shout out to Shay's Turtle Hotbox Gang with another $1.99 super trap. She says, mad respect to BGZ, always opening peeps' eyes.
Oh, say less.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that super trap. And with that being said, guys, we're going to go out ahead and get up out of here. We're going to let Jen Quavius take us away. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you guys can join the Discord. We do have the Discord link in the bio, so you can send me more videos. I actually have my Rumble set up as well, and I have the Odyssey. I have a whole bunch of different backup channels for you guys to go join. And somebody did let me know that my BitChute link was not working, so I will update that as soon as I can. But I will throw the Rumble link in the chat because we have to diversify on multiple different platforms in order to stay alive in these YouTube internet streets due to the amount of censorship that is coming down hard on specifically Black content creators who are speaking truth to power and power to truth. So, guys, you already know what it is, man. We are going to give it to Jen Quavius to take us away. Peace, guys. Love.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured, but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jen Quavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo! Ain't that nigga J
Nah,
Quavius?
that ain't me. That ain't
He
me.
just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
J Quavius
Hey,
Jackson,
jump on that
here
nigga,
live,
man.
reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot. By the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.